In other news, Republicans on Capitol Hill are opposed to letting the Bush tax cuts expire at the end of the year, arguing that the expiration would cause tax hikes for America's small businesses. Just a couple days ago, House Speaker John Boehner said, quote, "Raising taxes on small businesses will kill jobs in America. It's as simple as that," end quote. Well, it really isn't that simple. In fact, economic evidence paints a very different picture. Under the Clinton presidency, the top marginal tax rate was 39.6%, or what it would be if the Bush tax cuts expire at the end of the year. Despite that rate, small businesses were still able to grow twice as fast during the Clinton presidency than they did while Bush was in the White House, even if you take off the last disastrous year of the Bush administration from that equation. Excuse me. If Republicans really want to protect the interests of small businesses and strengthen our economy, then shouldn't they let the Bush tax cuts expire? Joining me now is Neil Asbury, an entrepreneur and host of Truth for America. Neil, welcome.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for joining us, Neil. Pardon my coughing. Why do you want to see small businesses fail? Why not bring them the success that Bill Clinton did?
That's why we got to lower taxes, Tom. Everybody who wants to raise taxes has never created a job in their lives, because it's absolutely insane what they're saying. You talk about Bill Clinton. Well, first of all, he inherited the Reagan economy. So just about anybody could be successful under that circumstance.
The Reagan economy was a disaster, Neil.
No,
we had the biggest crash, the biggest stock market crash, the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression in the Reagan economy, and it was after Reagan dropped taxes. And I would say as a result of Reagan dropping taxes.
We'll disagree on that, but what we will agree on is that it was a very different time 20 years ago. America was the world's largest exporter. America was the world's largest manufacturer, which we still are just by a hair, and we're going to lose that here very soon to our competitors. Our competitors are kicking our butts. We need to do something differently. Nobody who has ever created a job in their lives would ever be advocating for raising taxes.
So, well, I have
going to work.
Neil, you know, I've hired probably at least 200 people in my life.
You are an entrepreneur. I realize that.
And I think we should raise taxes, because I remember a time in this country, you know, back in the 70s, one of the first businesses I had that really did well, my CPA came to me and said, "You got to stop taking money out of this business. You're hitting the 40, you're going to hit the 50% tax bracket pretty soon." Back then it was 74% at the top end. He said, "Keep the money in the company and grow it." We did. We grew it substantially, hired 18 people ultimately.
Well, Tom, you're
let's
very
go
unique,
back
and
to those. No, I'm not unique, Neil. That's what small business people did.
Tom,
that's why business was so good in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s until Reagan dropped those tax rates, because people kept that's why America's downtowns and malls were filled with small businesses. Now they're all gone.
Tom, I have 8 pages here of companies that's made layoffs, significant layoffs, since Tuesday. I mean, this is a bloodbath out there. Why is not my liberal friends marching in the streets because of all these people losing their jobs? 25 million unemployed and underemployed Americans. This is disgraceful. There's never been a time in our history when the administration and our job creators have been at war with each other. And that's what's happening, and we want to raise taxes.
There's never been a time in our history. FDR said they hate me and I welcome their hatred. You know, you have seen
our job creators. We hate our job creators?
Well, back then, yes. If you want to call them job creators, if you want to use that Frank Luntz focus group term for rich people, yes. But I'm not buying that nonsense, Neil. We had a top tax rate of 91% in the 1950s, the 1960s, and the 1970s. And those 3 decades, each one of those decades had GDP growth over 3.2%. They were the strongest economic growth in the history of the United States, with a 91% top tax rate.
Why are we having this? Why are we having all these people laying people off right now? You know what I have to do right now, and I really don't look forward to this. Maybe you can give me some advice. But this April, when I have to renew my health insurance, I have to tell my people that their health coverage is going to cost a lot more and they're going to get a lot less. And now if you tell me we're going to raise taxes, I got to tell people they're going to lose their jobs.
What you should have done, Neil, is you should have fought for single-payer health care. Just wait another year and a half until Obamacare kicks in. I mean, it would have kicked in a lot faster if guys like you weren't fighting it. You and I both know, Neil, that health care is going to get less expensive, and that you're not going to be paying additional taxes
That's
your...
absolutely, that's wrong. We're losing our competitiveness.
Wait a minute, you're saying...
we got to bring our job creators
Neil,
back home.
we're out of time.
They're over in China. Let's bring them up.
Yeah, I'm with you. We will leave on this point of agreement. Let's bring our jobs home. Neil Asbury, thanks a lot, Neil.
Perfect. Thanks, Tom.